Today is Oberon Day, the day that Bell's Brewing Company decides to release their yearly supply of Oberon, and everybody in the Midwest goes absolutely ape shit for it. Which gives me an excuse to talk about a beer cocktail on today's episode of Mike's Hard Reviews. Hey there, hello there, and hello. Welcome back to Mike's Hard Reviews. My name is Michael. I am a bartender from Southwest Michigan, and it is lovely to have you all here today. We're going to be talking about a beer cocktail because it's Oberon Day, and it gives me a chance to talk about a couple of cool things, especially something that another YouTuber has done, actually, that for a while I was totally hooked on. So two things we have to talk about real quick, very brief history discussion here today. Oberon Day and a cocktail called the Bromosa. First off, Oberon Day. What is that? There is a brewery here in Kalamazoo, which is pretty common and pretty well enjoyed all along the East Coast, called Bell's Brewing Company. Their spring-summer ale option is Oberon, which is like an American wheat ale. I think it's got some kind of citrusy notes to it, and it's actually a pretty solid beer. If it's the only domestic on tap wherever I'm going to drink, and I want a domestic, that's probably what I'm going to reach for because it's easy. That being said, it's easy, and Kalamazoo is home to much better beer, but hey, this is a pretty solid choice if you're boring. That being said, it's really popular, and today's the day that it's officially available in stores for the season, so I figured it'd be a fun thing to do, to put it into a cocktail, because beer cocktails are a cool thing. There aren't very many of them. The Michelada is probably the one that you're most familiar with, which is essentially a Bloody Mary, but with beer. There are more fun things we can do with it, and one of those is the Bromosa, which is, I think, an original of Leandro from The Educated Barfly. I did not check any of this history, so Leandro, if you see this, I apologize, but I believe this is one of the drinks they were serving as part of like a spring or brunch menu at the bar he worked at, which I think was called Cole's and is now, I think, unfortunately defunct. Case in point being, it's something Leandro or somebody he worked with came up with, and he actually made a video on it a while back when a 2-ingredient cocktail called a spaghetti, which is Aperol and Miller High Life, very bartender's handshake of us, isn't it? That was popular a while back. He talked about it back then. So yeah, I was super huge into the Bromosa for a little while, and I'm gonna make one for you guys today. I made mine a little bit different than Leandro makes his, so let's talk about the ingredients. All you will need for this cocktail is orange juice, Aperol, and a light beer of your choice. Pilsner here is actually not that bad. Aldi makes one in tall boy cans that's actually pretty solid. I use that in my personal time whenever I make one of these. I'm only using Oberon today because it's timely. I'm not sponsored or anything like that. And frankly, I don't really drink Bell's stuff that often. I actually prefer New Holland, but that's whatever. For garnish, we're gonna do a little orange wedge and some mint as well, just for color contrast and for fun, because I like dressing things up unnecessarily. Let's get mixing. Whoa, what the fuck was that? This is actually a cocktail that we can build in the glass, so grab a chilled bulb glass or snifter from your freezer. To that glass, we will add 1.5 ounces of freshly squeezed orange juice. Come behind that with 1.5 ounces of Aperol, and then we'll crack our beer and throw a splash of that into the glass to start our effervescence. To that, we'll add some ice, and then we'll just top that off with a little bit more of our beer. For garnish, I'm gonna add half a rim of an orange to the lip of the glass, and then I'll tuck some mint down next to that just for fun and flair, because I'm flashy like that. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the Bromosa. Cheers. See that taste. Cheers. Oh man. That is more than better than I remember it. Wheat ales, I mean, they've got this kind of like nice, like lightly hoppy bitterness to them, but they're really mostly kind of like bready and gentle and kind of flowy, and that is just a really great canvas upon which the citrus from the orange, which is very minute and doesn't really have a huge impact, but is present and is kind of helping lengthen out that kind of heavy richness, and the bitterness of the Aperol can act upon. Basically, what we're doing is making a really fancy, dressed up beer, and yeah, it's good. It's really great. Well, that's all I have for you today. I hope you guys are enjoying Oberon Day if you celebrate. And Leandro, if you see this, I apologize for like maybe sort of a little bit kind of bastardizing and tiki-fying the presentation of your cocktail. I think it looks really pretty this way, so hopefully you don't mind. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all around. Cheers.